Happy Monday to you. I'm so excited to get to start our week off together. And I want to share with you a word that I read this morning out of Jeremiah. Jeremiah 17:19, listen to this. This is what the Lord said to me. Go and stand at the gate of the people through which the kings of Judah go in and out. Stand also at all the other gates of Jerusalem. Say to them, hear the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah and people of Judah and everyone living in Jerusalem who come through these gates. I want to talk to you this morning about city gates. What is so fascinating about city gates is a couple things. One, they carry great influence. Two, they serve as a direct defense to any city. So back then, a defense of the entire city was what we would call a wall. And on this wall stood what we call watchmen. And the watchman would do exactly what you would think they would do. A watchman would watch. They would look out, and when they would see someone coming, they would identify, is this an enemy or is this a friend or a fellow countryman? When they identified what that was, if it was an enemy, they were picked off like that. If it was a friend or countryman, they would scream down to the gatekeeper and they would say, open up the gate so that friend or countryman could come through. I find this so fascinating, what's going on in our nation with the wall. And I don't care what side of the wall you stand on, I really feel like there's a strong spiritual parallel here, and I felt this for the last month or so, that in the physical, President Trump believes so strongly that we're to rebuild the wall to protect our country, and the protection of our country is directly in jeopardy. I believe there's a very spiritual parallel also, that the Lord is calling the Church of America to rise up and to rebuild that wall in the spirit. Do you recognize that nothing can be shifted in the physical before it's shifted in the spirit? And so I implore you as watchmen, as the Church of America, to rise up and to watch in the spirit and to pray. But secondly, the city gates were fascinating because they were great places of influence. This is where the community would gather. This is where they would hang out. And if you remember, when Boaz was going to take Ruth to be his wife, he went down to the city gate and he asked that kinsman redeemer permission to take Ruth. And he said, you have first right, so you let me know. Legal transactions happen at the city gates. And so I've been asking the Lord, okay, what are the city gates of 2019? What does that look like in our cities and in our nation? And this is not my original material. This stuff is everywhere, but I really believe the Lord spoke the influential gates of our culture. And we call those at Enkindle spheres of influence: government, education, business, media, entertainment, churches, and ministries, those 5 arenas. And we believe for such a time as this that you were positioned. Do you recognize that? You were positioned in a seat of influence in one of those many areas. Of course, there's sub areas like families and homeschooling and all those things, but they fall under the umbrella of these gates of influence. You get to start your week off at a gate of influence is what I'm guessing. And I want to remind you to go and to declare the word of the Lord. You are filled with His Holy Spirit. You have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. And the world is noticing that more and more in our day as the darkness wanes. So I challenge you, I boldly impart into you to go and to stand at the city gate, which is your gate of influence, and to declare the word of the Lord this week. I can't wait to hear the stories, and we'll see you soon.